The White Lotus Season 3 finale has wrapped up a lot of storylines, but just because the credits rolled, it doesn't mean the drama is really over. Rick and Chelsea are dead, Sritala's a widow, the bodyguards got bodied, the Ratliffs are broke, Belinda's rich, the Frenemies are besties again, Frank found enlightenment. Chloe and Gary are still creepy, the thieves are still partying, Gaitok got the girl, and Fabian... Welcome to MsMojo. Here's a recap of every major character's arc, the deeper symbolism of their journey, where they fit into the overarching themes, and the likely reality they'll be facing in the very near future.
I don't even have my lorazepam. I'm gonna have to drink myself to sleep.
Belinda and Zion. In a shocking turn of events, Belinda actually cashes in on the hush money offer, smiling all the way to the bank. And fans are divided on her sudden change of heart. Back in Season 1, Belinda fantasized about opening her own wellness center, even drafting a business plan for potential investor Tanya. When that Kickstarter fell through, viewers were devastated for the single mom. So Belinda's return in Season 3 was a welcome addition, especially given her interest in broadening her spiritual repertoire. But after receiving Pornchai's knowledge of healing, and then some, she finds herself in a precarious situation. Greg, whose dirty secrets she's privy to, is onto her. So she's offered some cash to stay out of his business. Belinda knows taking the money is the wrong thing to do. In fact, she's been sounding alarm bells all season.
I think we should call the police, don't you?
Though Greg is intimidating, she does have several options here. Best case scenario, she tips off police, gets out of Thailand, and enters witness protection until Greg is arrested. Belinda has always exhibited nurturing and compassionate qualities, but when her son Zion arrives, she becomes rather cold.
He's buying me off, so don't tell anyone where he is.
Okay, so let him buy you off then.
It's not right, Zion. He had her killed.
When Zion learns about the tricky position she's in, he steers her toward the payoff, even suggesting she negotiate a higher sum.
I'm not taking that blood money, okay?
Mom, why don't you just see how much you can get?
Z.
It's as if her concerns for their safety are not important.
No, he won't do anything to you.
He's done it before.
What matters most to Zion is receiving that payment and flexing the degree he's working toward.
All I care about is business and the bottom line. NBA, baby, hey.
Once Zion pitches a whopping $5 million, all morals are out the window. Effectively, Tanya's murder has been turned into a bargaining chip.
You go back in there and you tell him your mother takes things very personal. She doesn't trust him, okay? And if we don't make a deal and we don't get the money, who knows what I'll do.
In the end, Greg pays up.
I called the bank. It's real.
Are you kidding?
Much like Tanya stiffed Belinda back in Hawaii, Belinda pulls out of the business she and Pornchai were brainstorming. While plans weren't super concrete, it meant something and exemplified her life's work. Despite knowing that sinking feeling all too well, she kinda shafts Pornchai when the shoe's on the other foot.
Circumstances have changed for me, and I just can't commit to anything right now.
While it might be smart for her to get out of Thailand, it's unlikely this chapter is truly closed for her.
Can I just be rich for 5 minutes?
Some fans are delighted that Belinda can sail off into the sunset $5 million richer, but she should have probably trusted her gut before selling out. By accepting the hush money, she's now implicated in an active investigation and has made herself an accessory to murder. Furthermore, under the Bank Secrecy Act, she'll be probed by her institution for receiving that exceptionally large cash flow, so it's unlikely she'll be able to write that off. Legalities aside, Belinda's switch-up stings on a deeper level. In a callback to this line earlier in the season,
I'm starting to feel like something good's gonna come out of this.
Zion reminds her that taking the money is her moment.
Maybe this is the one good thing that's meant to come out of all of it.
While she was initially referring to the pursuit of her true calling to learn and grow as a healer, Zion flips that sentiment. Pacifying a killer and accepting money for silence is not a flex, but Zion is kind of right. She's ultimately allowed the bribe to usurp her personal goals.
What about your man? You two were gonna start a business together? Don't you want to start your own spa?
So what's the true cost for Belinda, apart from potential jail time? Well, one of the major themes of the season centers around systems of belief as religion. How much of yourself are you willing to sacrifice in pursuit of temptation? Belinda abandons her dreams, her connection to the spiritual world, and her integrity for the almighty dollar.
We did that shit. We did that shit.
Yeah, we did.
And you worked so hard, Mom.
I love you.
I love you too.
Now go on, find your center or some shit.
In the shuffle, Tanya's tragic death remains unsolved, and Greg is still a free man. Who knows who else he might kill?
Well, Gary might kill me. I honestly think he's capable of it.
Gaitok and Mook. Like Belinda, Gaitok's faith in himself is put to the test. He's been pining for Mook, but she's playing hard to get. Though she acts marginally interested, she makes it clear she has a thing for the bodyguards.
พวกนั้นเงินดีจะตาย
เงินเดือนพี่ก็ไม่ได้น้อยหน้าเขานะ
แต่เขาได้แบบไปไหนมาไหนได้เห็นโลกกว้างชีวิตน่าตื่นเต้นดีออก
Mook spends the majority of her screen time negging Gaitok to dream bigger than his role as a gate attendant.
พี่ชอบงานพี่มากกว่า
หรอมันน่าตื่นเต้นเหรอ
มาก
คอยดูรถเข้ารถออกเนี่ยนะน่าตื่นเต้น
It's almost as if she's more interested in his promotion than he is.
เมื่อเช้าพี่ได้ไปคุยกับคุณศิตลาด้วย แล้วก็คุณศิตลาก็ชมว่าพี่กล้ามากเลยนะที่พี่ทำแบบนั้นนะ
จริงเหรอเขาชมงั้นเหรอ
ใช่
เฮ้ยดีใจแทนเลยอะ
Admittedly, Mook doesn't have a whole lot to do this season. Rather, she serves as a sounding board for Gaitok to influence his growth. While she undoubtedly wants him to become a bodyguard for the heftier salary, she also seems eerily eager to see him engaged in violence. She's the most into him immediately after he faces off with the jewelry thieves.
พี่เก่งมากเลยนะรู้ไหม
And she's visibly excited to learn he's been entrusted with a weapon.
พอดีเดี๋ยวเขาจะให้พี่เริ่มพกปืนแล้วอะตอนเวลาทำงาน
จริงปะ
ใช่
โอ้ยดีอ่ะดีเลยพี่ต๊อกแสดงว่าเขาเพิ่มหน้าที่ความรับผิดชอบให้นะ
She even accompanies him to the fights to showcase the warrior qualities he should embody.
เห็นไหมพี่ต๊อกว่ามันเป็นเรื่องธรรมชาติการต่อสู้มันเป็นส่วนหนึ่งของชีวิตอะชีวิตมันต้องสู้เคยได้ยินปะ
When Pilak takes Gaitok to the shooting range, he's clearly uneasy. Despite being a sharpshooter, he's hesitant about his ability to truly fire the weapon when needed.
แล้วพอถึงเวลาจริงๆอ่ะนายว่านายกล้ายิงคนเป็นๆนะ
ทำได้พี่
จริงอ่ะ
This is because having a killer instinct goes against his identity and religion.
พระพุทธเจ้าไม่เคยสอนให้พวกเราฆ่าสัตว์ตัดชีวิตหรือทำร้ายคนอื่น
Although the head of security has lost faith in Gaitok, Mook is determined to push him in the direction that suits her.
เขาคิดว่าพี่ทำร้ายใครไม่ได้หรอก
แต่พี่ก็ทำให้เขาเห็นเราไม่ใช่หรอว่ามันไม่ได้เป็นอย่างที่เขาว่าเลยอะ
On their date, she's disappointed to learn he won't be taking on a role as a bodyguard. In fact, it begins to feel as if she was only giving him the time of day under the condition that he make progress towards this brazen position. Although Gaitok would rather keep the more comfortable job and his theology intact, he realizes that he'll have to compromise if he wants to get the girl.
พี่ว่าพี่ต้องรู้สึกแย่มากๆอะถ้าพี่ต้องทำอย่างนั้นอะ
พี่ต้องเข้มแข็งกว่านี้สิถึงจะทำงานนี้ได้อะ
In a highly manipulative manner, Mook makes it her mission to cloud his judgment, and it's working.
มุกก็อุตส่าห์คิดว่าพี่อยากจะโตอยากจะมีหน้าที่การงานที่มันดีกว่านี้สิ
He's been fantasizing about a life with Mook for a while now, so when an opportunity to impress Mook, help Sritala, and save the day presents itself, he's put in a conundrum. The pacing of the action in the final face-off is very intentional. Gaitok arrives on the scene after the dust has settled. He doesn't have all the information, only orders from Sritala to murder Rick. It's important to note that Rick is unarmed and walking away from him, so even Mook's earlier pardoning of violence as a means of defense doesn't apply here. Gaitok hesitates. In a split second, he must choose between what his heart truly wants to cause no harm and what his heart selfishly desires to impress those around him. And so, he shoots Rick, in cold blood, execution style. The manner in which Gaitok dispatches Rick indicates that he's made his decision. In a flash forward, he earns the admiration of Mook and the bodyguard title, but we can't help but think back to the monastery leader's wise words.
Lost connection with the spirit. What is left
chasing money, pleasure, yeah?
This perfectly describes Gaitok's tragic arc. He has lost connection with his spirit while chasing money and pleasure, so it's hard to imagine he'll truly be happy in the long run. The Ratliffs. The monastery leader also had a lot of choice words for Timothy this season, and they resonated with him on a deep level.
You cannot outrun pain.
Timothy has been contemplating ending his own life and possibly taking his family with him, due to the revelation that his crooked business was sniffed out.
What do you think happens when we die?
It's the wise leader's words that give him pause, coupled with the near-death experience that almost claimed his son Lachlan. He realizes he has to face the consequences of his actions head-on, even if it means serving time in prison and losing his estate. During the final moments on the boat, we're treated to a visual of splashing water. It's a shot that's appeared in every season, highlighting the turbulent nature of the world. Victoria even symbolically dreams of a tsunami destroying her home. But in this instance, the droplets of water are a callback to the line,
When you're born, you are like a single drop of water, flying upward, separated from the one giant consciousness.
The monk explains to Rick that while we're alive, we grow and change independently, but then drop back down into the water, becoming one with the ocean again.
Death is a happy return. Like coming home.
And Timothy knows that it's neither his nor his family's time to die, because that would be an egregiously selfish decision.
Our solutions are temporary. They are quick fix. They create more anxiety, more suffering.
So once he realizes that he must heed the wise man's advice, he finds a sense of peace that had been fleeting all season.
It is easier to be patient once we finally accept there is no resolution.
At last, Timothy understands that even if they lose everything, they can find a way to persevere through the uncertainty.
Things are about to change. We'll get through it as a family. Because we're a strong family, and you know, nothing's more important than family, right?
Victoria's arc is full of zonked out highs and lows, but follows a fairly downward trajectory. She revels in her privileged lifestyle and is ultimately punished for that entitlement.
I just don't think at this age I'm meant to live an uncomfortable life.
Piper, on the other hand, attempted to step out of her comfort zone by coming to Thailand. She wanted so badly to distinguish herself from her greedy family and to reconnect with a higher purpose. But after experiencing what poverty felt like at the temple, that had no organic dining options, she realizes her mother's way of living suits her far better.
There's so much suffering in the world, and we have it so easy, and like other people have it so hard, and I feel like it's really unfair.
Saxon, on the other hand, has effectively switched places with his sister. He started off arrogant, creepy, and brimming with superficial values.
Hooking up with you would be an empty experience.
And how would you know that?
Because I know. Because you're soulless.
But after meeting Chelsea, he opens his eyes to a new way of connecting with the world and others around him.
Oh, try me. Oh, teach me your ways.
Lachlan is tugged between his brother and sister all season long. As the baby of the family, he's still searching for a sense of self. There are hints that he's questioning his sexuality and has a warped sense of being a pleaser.
Like, it's okay for you to, worship me, but don't, worship me.
Though he came close to making a breakthrough with the monks, he's ultimately pulled away from Thailand. But at least, thanks to their teachings, he'll be able to make do with the less posh lifestyle they're going home to.
Think you could live with no money, no house, nothing?
Yeah, I think I could.
We've covered the symbolism of the Ratliffs' arrival and departure on the boat in our White Lotus Easter eggs video, so be sure to check it out when you're finished watching. Before we continue, be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. You have the option to be notified for occasional videos or all of them. If you're on your phone, make sure you go into your settings and switch on notifications. The Frenemies. Just as the Ratliffs must learn to lean on one another, girlfriends Jacqueline, Lori, and Kate experience a similar breakthrough. Their friendship seemed doomed from episode 1, when Lori bawled her eyes out after witnessing the superficial platitudes of her friends who appear more well-adjusted. The women navigate uncomfortable conversations about politics.
Are you a Republican?
Petty drama over a man.
Why did you keep pushing him on me? When it was always your plan to hook up with him yourself?
And unresolved past resentment.
She has not changed at all.
It's well established that Lori is not like her friends.
Look, I'm not like you. Sometimes I just have to be honest.
She doesn't engage in the performative chit-chat about how amazing her life is and how happy she is for her besties.
We're all lucky.
We're so lucky.
Yeah.
She even abandons the front altogether after learning that Jacqueline slept with Valentine, throwing both ladies under the bus to expose all the gossip and catty phoniness they espouse.
I don't know. When Kate told me she saw him coming out of your room this morning, you did.
Anyone would go crazy if they had to spend a vacation with Jacqueline and Kate. But Lori's spiraling is made into her problem.
If you're not happy with your life, Lori, I don't know, change it.
Jacqueline and Kate haven't come to any real internal resolution by the midpoint of the finale. Jacqueline is still an aging actress seeking validation and burning friends in the process, and Kate is still a questionable friend with the gift of gab serving as both a superpower and kryptonite. But Lori has a surprising monologue at their last supper. Just when it seems the friends might finally split apart for good, she has an epiphany.
As you get older, you have to justify your life, you know? And your choices.
Despite all the BS she has to weed through, her friends force her to reflect on her own mistakes. And in this moment, Lori touches on the overarching theme of belief systems in a movingly articulate way.
I mean, work was my religion for forever, but I definitely lost my belief there. And then I tried love, and that was just a painful religion, just made everything worse.
While other characters either turn toward religion to save them, or away from it in pursuit of worldly pleasures, Lori throws the whole rulebook out the window.
I had this epiphany today. I don't need religion or God to give my life meaning, because time gives it meaning.
It's her friends that make her truly happy. Despite the ups and downs, they've always been there, and faith in friendship is a fundamental value no one can deny. So with a new sense of respect for one another, the Frenemies can officially retire the moniker and just be good friends. So were you satisfied with how everything played out? Which storylines hit you the hardest? And if Fabian went on tour, would you buy a ticket? Let us know in the comments.
Good evening. This is a little song I wrote when I was feeling a bit homesick.